Welcome to Magic Beyond the Books. Today we are talking about the movie version of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. That's the third movie in the franchise. Warning, there are Harry Potter spoilers in this episode, especially from this movie. So, spoilers if you haven't watched it. I'm Renee, and we have a new guest host on the pod today. Do you want to introduce yourself and share your Hogwarts house?
Hi, I am Tori. And before I tell you, I was curious. We've known each other for a while. Do you have any guess as to what I am? Because I was surprised.
Okay, let me think of. I want to maybe work backwards. I feel like you're diligent and thoughtful in your decision making and doing things. I don't think you do things rashly, and I think that's kind of like a Gryffindor trait. Or sometimes they might be brave and jump into battle. So I'm gonna say maybe not a Gryffindor, though you do have Gryffindor traits. So but I'm gonna say no to Gryffindor. I think you're ambitious and driven, and those are Slytherin traits, even though Slytherins get a bad rap. Hufflepuff, I feel like they're very hardworking and loyal, good friends, and I would associate that with you. So maybe Hufflepuff, maybe Slytherin, and Ravenclaw. I can see Ravenclaw for you because I think of them as interested in learning. You listen to podcasts, you're always learning new things and taking new information in. So I'm gonna say it's one of those three. Maybe since you said it was surprising, I'm gonna say maybe Slytherin.
Okay. I don't know the books as well as you, obviously. But I was actually really surprised to learn that I was indeed a Gryffindor.
Really?
And
Okay.
it makes no sense to me at all. I was like, I wouldn't consider myself the take charge and let's get this done kind of person, but apparently that's what they say. So I was more thinking I was going to be a Hufflepuff, but I'm not going to complain. I think they're
Yeah,
all
no,
good
I'm a
options.
Gryffindor too, so I
That's what I
maybe
would have
that's why we
guessed.
fit together. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so. I'm not saying you're not a Gryffindor, but Hufflepuff, I think of you as being really hardworking and reliable and so yeah. But I guess some people have traits of all, and maybe you're
Yeah.
firstly Gryffindor and then a little Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the movie. Do you want to give us the movie summary from IMDb?
Sure. So Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione return to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry for their third year of study, where they delve into the mystery surrounding an escaped prisoner who poses a dangerous threat to the young wizard.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah.
So this one, it was directed by Alfonso Cuarón. If I'm pronouncing that right, people probably Cuarón. Which is different because the first two were Chris Columbus, and then it changes for the fourth to Mike Newell, and then David Yates does 5 through 8. So this is the only one by Alfonso Cuarón. Are you you're a movie buff, I feel. So are you familiar with his other work?
I am.
Okay.
So I actually just watched Children of Men the other day. That movie's crazy, by the way. But yeah, Roma, Gravity. I have not seen Great Expectations. But one movie that caught my eye was A Little Princess. That movie is my childhood. We watched that a million times. And to me, it brings in a lot into Prisoner of Azkaban. There's a lot of touches in that movie. It's very whimsical. It is a little darker. It's all natural light. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend. It's a really sweet story. Very sad, but just awesome. So highly recommend that one. But yeah, I was very surprised. I mean, not when I originally saw it, but looking at it now, I'm like, I have no idea why he was chosen to direct this movie,
Yeah.
other than maybe A Little Princess. But other than that, all of his other work is obscure.
Yeah, and not, Chris Columbus, for a comparison, I don't know, he does some other movies that are kind of in that same genre sort of, or
Yeah.
and so, and I do, in my personal opinion, I think Prisoner of Azkaban stands out to me as looking very different from the
Agreed.
other movies. I mean, obviously from the first two, and the other ones are directed by different directors, but overall, the look of it stands out maybe the most to me, or is the most memorable. And I kind of like it. We'll talk about some of the stuff more, but there's some shots that he does that I really like, and stylistic things that I think it really makes this movie have a unique look compared to the other ones. If I'm does this make any sense?
No, absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
the first movies, I feel like the first two, everything kind of felt like it was built on a soundstage. It was very controlled, and all the I mean, the outfits were exactly as you would read it in the book. Everything was just very manicured. And this one feels a little bit more natural. Like, I want to talk about it later, but like the school uniforms, and then some of the teachers get, glam ups. And like, there's just, the sets are different. Like, they had to move to a different country. Like, there's just so many different changes that they made that I really want to hear more on the background of like, how did he get the freedom to make so many changes? Like, what did Warner Brothers see in him that they said, here are the reins, go crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing, I mean, I'm obviously a book lover, but one thing I did kind of like that was a change in this movie that from the books is there's a lot in the books. Harry meets with Lupin, and Lupin's kind of like coaching him, teaches him how to do the Patronus. And that's like a big theme. There's multiple moments where they're like meeting up and just like he's being a mentor to him, right? And in the books, that's all happening in Lupin's office. But in this movie, they have them kind of like walking around the grounds a lot. They're on that like bridge.
Yeah,
And then there's like one where they're like on a near looking over an island and they're like with Hedwig. And I feel like even though that's not accurate to the books, I feel like visually it's just like more appealing to just watch them like walk around in the scenery versus just kind of the same like just sitting in a classroom, you know?
agree completely. That's really interesting. I didn't realize that wasn't in the book, but that is a nice choice.
Yeah. Okay, so and also credit this was obviously adapted by the best-selling novel by J.K. Rowling, and the screenplay was from Steve Kloves, which I think maybe all of them are. I need to double check that. I know the first two were.
He did all of them aside from the fourth.
Okay, interesting. Interesting because the fourth is my least favorite, I think, of them. And, we can come back and do that one in a different episode, but maybe that's why. But anyway, this one was released June 4th, 2004. And I looked back because I was like, when did these all come out? Like, what was the spacing? So between the first two, it was almost exactly a year after. And then this one was like a year and a half about after that one. So like the second one came out November 14th, 2002. This came out June 4th, 2004. So a little bit longer of a like gap between like the second two and three versus one and two. And then according to IMDb, the estimated budget was 130 million and worldwide grossed over 800 million. And it got a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I know we're going to like probably discuss more, but right off the bat, like how are you feeling about the 91%? High, low, accurate?
I thought it was pretty accurate. I took a note from your first movie podcast of how you kind of like compared to others, which was hysterical, by the way. I was
Thanks.
like screaming at my phone, like, what do you mean Monty Python is unwatchable? Um, but it got a chuckle. But that's good podcast making, so good job. But I thought it did. I mean, I really liked it. I thought 91% was pretty accurate. I did look at all of the other Harry Potter movies, and the only one to score higher was the very last one, Seven Part Two, which I would agree. I mean, they wrap it up pretty well, but I did look up other movies with 91% ratings, and it's incredible. So, Fellowship of the Ring,
Okay.
Re- Reservoir Dogs,
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption, There Will Be Blood, Little Miss Sunshine, like all of those. I'm like, those are all incredible movies to be up there with.
Yeah, true. Yeah, some of those I think maybe should be higher.
Agreed. Um, but there was also like Birdman, School of Rock, Hairspray, and Borat, which I'm like, I don't know about you.
Interesting. That's why I don't these ratings are hard because I feel like you might like I look at 91% for this movie and I'm like that's a good rating. But then like looking at other movies that kind of makes me feel like oh maybe this shouldn't like that's 91. Like if that's 91 then 91 then this should be higher, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
Or like compared to the other Harry Potters, like I personally really like the first two. I know that's like an unpopular opinion, but I think there should credit is due for like having to build this all from nothing, like
That's
having
true.
nothing to like work from. And the first two, they're just like the kids are so cute and I just feel so nostalgic about the first two. So I kind of like I guess I should say the first one was rated 80% and this one was 91%. I don't know that, like, that seems like a big discrepancy. Like, I don't think that the first one was that much worse than this one. You know what I'm saying? Or at
I
least that's
can
how I feel.
agree with that. I feel like when it's the first one, it usually gets a little more credit. Like, again, you referenced Iron Man as not being all that great, but Iron Man was the very first of the Marvel Universe, which is why I think it does so well. And that's why it's so impactful. So you're right. It is weird that the first one didn't rate a little higher.
Yeah, like that like kicked this off. I feel
Yeah.
like.
He started from scratch.
So should we get into our discussion of the movie?
Yeah, ready to go.
So let's take it back to what is it? What was it? June 2004. Do you remember what were you doing when you first saw this film, or did you see it when it came out or later?
I was in the sixth grade, and if I'm honest, I do not remember actually seeing this movie, but I do remember, like, I don't know how I felt about it when I saw it, if that makes sense. Like, there are so many twists in this movie, and I saw none of them coming. Like, the time travel aspect, had no idea. Like, she's
Yeah.
literally wearing the necklace, like, through the entire movie, no idea. Scabbers being the villain, Sirius being the good guy, and Lupin being a werewolf, literally none of it. And like looking back, rewatching it now, I'm like, there are very clear signs. But as little sixth grade Tori, like, no idea. Had no idea any of that was happening. So yeah, don't remember the exact place, but remember how I felt. It was a good one.
Yes. This is a good, it's so funny because we, you and I have both watched this so many times now that it's like hard to remember the first time. But yeah, there's so many like plot twists that are like back to back to back, like, oh, plot twist this, plot twist this. And you're so right about the necklace. I noticed that this time watching it, she's straight up wearing it. It's like my memories of this movie, I thought you could like see the chain or see her tucking in. No, she's like wearing it. It's like fully out for
Oh,
everyone to see in multiple scenes. I mean, not that like how are we to know, but yeah,
but
it's so good.
still, we never see any of them wear jewelry ever. But
Yeah, like it should have been like red flags should have been going off, right?
agreed.
Yeah, like you, I don't exactly remember like watching it. I do know that I watched it in theaters when it came out, but the only memory that I have from watching it was this was like a special promotion with Lego, and they at the premiere, like I guess with the purchase of a ticket, they gave out these like Lego purple night buses. Like there was like a
That's
couple pieces.
adorable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to like text my parents and see if they still have it. But yeah, it was just like this freebie little like Lego bus thing, and I tried to find it. I found on Amazon they're selling it for like $50. So I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like this is probably like a fancy like collector's item now."
All right. Next time I get a freebie plastic toy, I will be keeping it.
Save it forever because you never know, I guess. Okay, so let's get into what we loved and hated about it in general. I'm going to go super random. There were like I have random loves and random hates. So, but you go for I think I have like 4 bullet points for love and 4 bullet points for hate.
Okay, I have three for love and like one main thing for hate.
Okay. Okay.
So, do you want to go first since you have more for love?
Yeah, or we can like alternate. So first love I had was using the Whomping Willow to illustrate the changes in season throughout the movie.
Yeah,
That's super random, but I just thought that was a
I thought,
good.
yeah, I made a similar note further down, but yeah, I thought that was
Okay.
really cool.
Okay. Do you want to share one of your loves, or do you want me to go through all mine?
Oh no, let me go. So I have to bring up the music. I know the first one, of course, is going to be the most impactful because, it's Hedwig's song. It's like the song of Harry Potter. But John Williams did, I think, the first three. And then Patrick Doyle did the fourth, Nicholas Hooper did five and six, and then Alexandre Desplat did both sevens. So I have to give them all a little kudos. But I mean, the music is incredible. Like while I was making notes, I was just listening to the soundtrack, and not just like the main music, but throughout the entire movie, like when they're sneaking around the pumpkins, there's just like literally like little notes playing in the background that just like builds up the tension. Like John Williams is a master. So I thought that was pretty great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, John Williams is amazing. Also, for the kids listening, this is gonna go over your head, but I had a CD of this. Like, I had the Harry Potter and Prisoner of Azkaban like album when it came out. It was a CD. It was how us old people listened to music back in the day.
It's how music was meant to be heard.
Yes. And so yeah, so I have like memories now that you're like saying that. I have memories of like listening to the album after watching it, and like the song for the hippogriff for Buckbeak's like
Yeah.
flight. That's a very memorable song. Or I think there's one for like the Marauders map. There's just like
Yep.
the music, and then there's like a jazzy kind of swing song that they used for Lupin's class with the Bogart. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very memorable.
Agreed. Another, like, I don't know, John Williams did a great job with the first two movies, but another example of how this movie kind of played its own tune, literally. Like that jazzy music was, I don't know, weird to hear and wonderful and very fun.
Yeah, like it's kind of like it might seem out of place like for a Harry Potter movie, but it fits really well in the scene. So yeah. And you're a movie buff, so for the listeners, like what are other popular soundtracks that John Williams has done for people that might not know who John Williams is?
I mean, Jurassic Park is a big one. He did Jaws. He works a lot with Steven Spielberg. But I
Probably
think,
yeah, like any Steven Spielberg
like
movie that you can think
any,
of, yeah.
yeah, big movie.
Okay, another love. This is a small love for me, but the spine candles in Lupin's office.
Yeah, those are
Maybe that's like
cool.
random, but I love them. They're so like
I'm not surprised you say
creepy.
that.
Yeah.
That is such a Renee thing.
Very Halloweeny. That's right up my
Hmm.
alley. They're just and they're like, and even in the scene, he kind of was like relighting them, so it draws more attention. Like they're lighting them, and Harry's like looking at it and talking, and I don't know. It's just very, very memorable to me.
Agreed. I like that. Okay. My next one. So the matter of underage magic is brushed off as a small offense in this movie. He's like, well, we're not going to send you to Azkaban for blowing up your uncle's aunt or uncle's sister. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
but in later movies, his underage magic to save his and Dudley's life gets him a hearing. So I thought it was really cool to kind of have this. To me, it feels like the foresight to know, like, let's downplay this because in later movies, we're going to make a really big deal out of this just to show kind of how the ministry has
It's
become
like
corrupted,
unfair. Yeah.
unfair. Yeah, kind of like, what do you mean now it's a problem? Just to show that they've become corrupt. I really thought that foresight was really, really smart.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I had like the opposite opinion where I was like, what the heck? In like, I guess he didn't get in trouble in the last film with Dobby, but he was in the book, so I think I was like getting confused. But yeah, he even asked Vernon says like you can't do magic here, and then later Fudge is like he asks Cornelius Fudge like if he's gonna get in trouble, and he's like no no no. But you're right, actually, like seeing it from that side, it makes the unfairness like even more where you're like what the heck he was like just doing. And
Yeah,
also he
it's
was
still
not only
Fudge.
blowing up his aunt, but he was like doing it under the covers when the movie
So
starts.
I had a question about that as well. Like, is he allowed to do that?
No, not at all. In the
Okay.
books, yeah, in the books, you would be in the books when Dobby does magic in his house in 2, he gets a warning, and then when it happens again in 5, he gets the hearing. And 3, the only reason why they brushed off in 3 was because Sirius Black was after him, and they're just like, okay, like we're not going to punish you because we're just like
Okay.
we're more worried about that. But yeah, you
Oh, that's
cannot.
funny.
You, like in the books, like it's a big no. Like you can read your books and stuff, but you can't be like
Like
practicing
making,
spells.
I was
Yeah.
wondering if it's like it was not in the presence of a muggle, so like that's why it was okay. But I'm like, I don't know if that's true. Okay, thank you for clearing that up. That's a question I had.
Okay, yeah. Another love for me, another small one, is like Harry's messy hair in this one. I feel like in the first 2, they're kind of like his hair is pretty straight, but it's canon for the books that his hair is like always out of place. And I feel like the third movie is the one that really nails it on his hair look, the way it's kind of like supposed to look from the book. So good job, Alfonso, or the
Good
hair and
job.
makeup people.
Okay, that actually like plays right into my next love, which is they kind of went away with that uniform look I was talking about earlier, where like every single person had like the perfect robe and the hats and everything. And a little bit of research I learned, Quran actually went to each of the kids and said, like, dress yourselves like you don't have a parent telling you how to dress. And so each, like, especially when they're talking over with Hagrid, like with Buckbeak, like you see them and their ties are all different. And like Hermione's shirt is not tucked in, which I thought was not very Hermione-esque.
Hermione, yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't sound like you, but that's fine. But all of those little tiny details really do, to me, make it feel more realistic, less like it's a soundstage, less like it's a performance on a stage. Like it is real and raw, and I really appreciate that. Also, there were a couple like restylings of professors. I don't know if you've noticed that like specifically Professor Flitwick in movies 1 and 2 was like bald with a big white beard, and then in this movie he has like black slicked back hair, and like
Yes,
he's like kind of
he changed like the
cool.
most. Yeah.
The
Well,
most,
obviously
yeah.
Dumbledore, but yeah.
Well, yeah. But I mean, it's the same actor. It's just, he just very much changed his look, which I thought was pretty cool. Like, I just like how they made it look a little bit more personalized. Like, each of the professors aren't in, sparkly robes. They each kind of have a different style, which I thought, I mean, just elevates this movie, which is why it gets a 91%.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I like that's a love and hate for me. One, I do love what you're saying where their uniforms aren't uniform. I feel like, I mean, I didn't go to a uniform school, so uniform school people are right in, but I imagine that people don't like wear it perfectly, like the people having it untucked or like sleeves rolled up. That I thought was good. The regular clothes I felt like was really prevalent in this movie, and I found it like a little bit distracting. Like Hermione's like pink hoodie will always
Yeah.
like remind me of this movie. And some of it seemed like a little bit maybe dated now that you're watching it. Like, I don't know if kids would like wear that these days. So I missed
Yeah.
it a little bit. Like, I feel like, and maybe it's because a majority of this movie happens to happen like outside of classes or after hours with the like whole time turner. All of that is happening outside of hours, which that's like a good chunk of the movie. So I think it like makes sense that they're not in their uniforms, but I feel like it makes it where like almost the whole movie I'm like, I forgot that they even wore uniforms in this movie until I rewatched like that, the scene where they're
Yeah.
like Hagrid's class or some of the other scenes. They do
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
Gosh, that's pretty funny. No, I mean, I do have a comment about Harry's wardrobe. When he's in the leaky cauldron and he's walking down and sees Ron and Hermione, I was like, that outfit looks so familiar. What is that? It's a red shirt and then like a blue zip up, no hood with like racing stripes down the sleeves. And I'm like, that's from Deathly Hallows Part One, where like they all drink the polyjuice potion and they all have to dress like Harry. And I'm like, that is the exact same outfit. Like that is it. And then I start
Yeah.
looking at him and I'm like, he wears like pretty much the same thing. Like it's just like a t-shirt and then a jacket with racing stripes, but in different color variations through all of the movies. I'm like, this guy needs to diversify his wardrobe. Like it's the
Yes. Yeah.
same. So it gave me a chuckle. But yeah, I was going to say the costume department, I guess, had a lot of other things going on, understandably so. So with Harry, it's like, I guess he's a muggle born kind of in a way, not muggle born, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
raised by
He
muggles. So
raised by muggles.
maybe,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say my favorite Harry look from this film, and I think we talked about it on a previous episode, is when the Hogsmeade scene and he's wearing like a hoodie and then a thicker jacket like over the hoodie. I feel like that's still like stylish to this
It's a
day.
cool
Like,
look. Yeah.
yeah, that's a classic look. Like he looks great. But some of the that red shirt was like really like that. Yeah, the leaky cauldron scene. I was very distracted by the red shirt with the like the baseball tee kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah. It was a choice.
it was a choice. Yeah. And then the last of my on my list of loves was the ending title sequence with the Marauders map.
That was cool. Yeah, I watched it on Peacock per your recommendation for like the extended version. And it like rushed through and I was like, I actually want to watch this. Like these are really cool credits.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I was impressed. And it's like all the way to the end. They did a good job.
Yeah. Okay. Going to hates. We kind of like touched on some things and I brought things up, so I might have a little bit less. But my first random hate is Dumbledore's dirty nails and his like super long nails. This is super random. I like it's in the scene where the fat lady's portrait gets scratched and he's kind of like putting his hand over.
Yeah.
His nails are so long, they're unpainted and they're like dirty. It's like something out of a horror movie. I'm gonna share a screenshot with you. Hold on a
Yeah, I
second.
didn't notice. I don't know if I want to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna disturb you. I'm sorry for this. Hold on. All right, this is what we're looking at. This is what we're working with here. It's like they're like unnecessarily long. I tried
They're
to take
really
two pictures.
dirty. They're really, yeah. Why are they that color?
They're like yellow, like off white. I don't know what's going on.
Ugh.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna
Okay.
stop sharing. It's
Yeah, thank you.
disturbing.
I was like, I don't want to see this anymore. No, which one is it? It's Half-Blood Prince, where he has to like drink the water from the, you know what I'm talking
I know
about.
what you're talking about. The
Yeah,
yeah.
and Harry has to like aguamente and it's not working. And like that scene where he just like opens his mouth and I'm like, oh my God, and for some reason it's just so unappealing to see you just like open your mouth like a guppy. Like I hate it so much. Like the whole like scary skeletons is bad, but like that's worse to me. I'm like, shut your mouth.
Yes, yes. Like whenever there's a movie or I'm watching a movie or a show and someone throws up, it's so bothersome
Ugh.
to me. Yeah, yeah.
God, I
I
hate
don't
that.
like it.
Mm. Yeah, that's the ick. Okay.
Yeah. So moving on from that, let's
Moving
not.
on. Don't move on from that hate and more onto this hate. So this is jumping forward a bit. I hate to say it, but my one hate is the climax of the movie feels a little like unrealistic to me. Like watching them have the reveal, like Remus and Sirius are acting so shady. Like they're like playing into what they're afraid is actually happening, like when they could so quickly be like, hey, let us explain what's going on here, and instead they're like,
Yeah,
only
yeah.
one will die tonight, and I'm like, say more. Like you're scaring them unnecessarily. They're literally about to try to kill you because of like, say more. So that was part of it. And then and the same exact scene when Harry, like they all do like the Expelliarmus, and like the wand pops away. But when Harry does it to Snape, he flies across the room and
Yeah.
like falls into like the canopy bed. And I'm like, what did he do differently? No idea. But that was weird to me.
Yes. Okay. Fair. All fair points, and I think a lot of the points are like actually in the books too, where they like take too long to like put these
Explain.
children at ease. Yeah. And like in the movie too, they're kind of like moving around, which obviously like you have to make the scene dynamic. So like Sirius and Lupin are kind of like moving around and changing positions a lot. It's like if you rewatch this scene, I didn't even remember this, but like instead of just standing still and explaining a bunch, they're like, moving back
Yeah.
and forth, moving to the piano,
Pacing.
moving away. Yeah. And it just makes it creepy. And there's like the creaky like house noises, like and the door keeps opening and closing. Yeah. So it's very like ominous and they're very scary. And they make even Lupin like seems kind of scary.
Deranged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Snape thing, I'm glad you bring that up because it is explained in the books, but it's not in the movies. So for the movie watchers, I'll like clarify this. In the books, Ron, Harry, and Hermione all Expelliarmus Snape, and it all hits him at the same time, and that's why he gets like knocked out. Because it's just a disarming spell. It's not supposed to do that much, but like if you get hit by 3 at once, like that makes sense why he's knocked out. But like in the movie, they just have Harry do it, so it doesn't make any sense. Like you said, like you're
No.
just like, why does this spell work differently for Harry this one time?
Is it because he said it louder? Like,
Like
is
he's
that
like
a factor
he really
here?
meant it. Yeah.
God, well, and then yeah, Hermione. I guess now that knowing what happens in the books, Hermione throws him under the bus. Like you just attacked a teacher, and it's like, well, in the book you did too. So
Yeah.
she needs to get
Yeah.
her story straight.
I know, yeah. Inconsistency, but yeah. Um okay, what are my other hates? Okay, I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but I guess hate is a strong word. It's not like I hate it, but Hermione throwing rocks for like the time. I know they have to illustrate that like, their future selves are interacting with their past selves and like, they have these moments where they're like she thinks she saw herself, all that. But the throwing rocks to get their attention, I guess it just felt like too forced for me. I wish that there was something else where like they were sitting on something and they knocked rocks over and then like their past selves noticed that, or You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I'm not explaining this well, but I felt like it was too like forced and felt very reckless for Hermione to be like meddling in time that like directly, where she's literally throwing rocks at her past self when they're not supposed to be seen. They're not supposed to change time. Like,
Yeah, I feel like when Harry like does the expecto patronum and he's like, "Well, I knew I could do it because I already did it." Like that line, I feel like maybe she saw the rock in Hagrid's like when she was the former Hermione and was like, "Oh, rocks. Someone threw these rocks. Oh, that's me.
it
I need
must
to
have
throw
been
these
me.
rocks."
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe she just like saw them coming and like acted out of urgency and just that's why she threw it. But I hear what you're saying. Like that does seem out of character for her to be like, "I'm going to throw some rocks at some people."
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's like it's not a character flaw. I think it's more of like a like the director. Like, I wish he had made a different choice to illustrate that. Like, they accidentally knock something over and then it hits their past self, or something that's a little bit more like, or a little bit more natural. Like, not throwing rocks is a very direct, like,
Yeah, intentional.
intentional random thing to do versus something that might have like accidentally happened or felt a little bit more natural, like, oh, we're just gonna make a loud noise to distract them because we need to, I don't know, it like,
Yeah, what happens in the books?
not, there's no rock throwing. I don't know. They like,
Okay.
they're they just kind of, they go and they just wait for themselves to leave. There's a lot of like, they'll go and hide and then watch their old selves like leave. They never interact with their old selves. The only time was Harry doing the Expecto Patronum, and like Hermione was like trying to stop him. She was like, "We can't change time. We can't change," because she's been doing this the entire year and hasn't been discovered. So she knows like there's strict rules. And in the books too, there's like more of an explanation about how like other wizards who have used time turners have like gone crazy and stuff, because like if your past self sees your future self come like barge into a room and you don't know the context, you could think it's like dark magic or some like, you know
Yeah, that
so
makes
it
sense.
there's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be where these things are super guarded, and Hermione only has like special permission from the ministry after McGonagall like begs them to let her have it just to do the classes, and she's not supposed to use it for anything else. She's not supposed to like change time. She's just going to like additional classes.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I have a question on that later, but
Okay, we'll go
we'll
we'll go
wait.
back to it.
Mm.
But yeah, I think that's all for my hate column. Did you have anything else?
No, just that one.
Okay. Let's get into favorite parts. So first, I called this like favorite aspects or favorite scenes. I jotted down like three like notable scenes to me, or moments, whatever you want to call them.
Okay, I kind of mentioned my favorite earlier, just saying like all of the twists and like so many different things back and forth. So that was my main one. I do have other scenes I can talk about, but why don't you get us started?
Okay. So, well, first of all, I guess I should say my favorite scene that's just a short moment is Harry like doing the Expecto Patronum and like getting all the Dementors to go away in the end. It feels like such a like heroic moment and very sentimental. And going back to what you said about the music, like the music there just feels very like powerful and happy. And I obviously read them in the books, but to be able to see it like in the movie and with the music and with him actually like yelling it, it's like it all came together really well, I feel.
Yeah, agreed.
And then another scene, this is more of like on the movie buff side. I feel like people talk about this scene a lot, is the Leaky Cauldron scene we mentioned earlier, where Harry gets pulled aside by Mr. Weasley and they're talking about Sirius Black. I went back and tried to like mark the times. I think it's 1705 to 1855, but maybe it's off like depending on what version of the movie you're watching. But it's almost 2 minutes long and it's one
One
shot.
take. That's cool. I didn't
Yes.
notice that.
Yeah, it's one shot. It starts with the kids at the table and then it kind of moves around and it moves to Arthur and Harry, and then as Arthur and Harry are like
They're like
moving, it kind of like
walking.
yeah,
Yeah.
it moves down the hallway. And it's almost 2 minutes long is a long. I know that doesn't like for other people it doesn't seem like a long time. For like a shot though, that's
Yeah.
forever.
Especially with kids. And like I was looking in the background and they have like magical teapots like going and pouring. And like you see Percy in the back room, like fill it. Like there was a lot of coordination. That's a good call.
There was a lot of like movement in watching it again. Like there were so many like background actors like coming in and out, and then they kept moving it where like Harry was talking to Arthur, and then like they would move, and then Sirius Black's poster was like between them, and then they'd like move in the shadows where like Arthur's face is in the shadows, and they were talking about, in the whole scene they're talking about Sirius Black being a murderer that's after Harry, and it's like really ominous. And I just think like from like a film perspective, I think it's just like so well done.
Well, yeah,
And
well executed.
yeah.
I like that a lot. I'll have to rewatch that. That's really cool. All right. You said you had a third?
Yeah, and my last one I wanted to mention, this is just kind of funny, is the Snape walking into the classroom and closing all the windows and then saying turn to page 394. It's like iconic. It's just so memorable.
I can agree with that. I do love that scene a lot. Later, when we talk about our favorite quotes, I almost picked that. But I will say one other scene that caught my eye, and we've already talked about it a little bit, but after they've time traveled, when they
Okay.
throw the rocks at the
No, the
building.
rock throwing. Yeah.
I thought
Okay.
it was really cool because like they just did the reveal and like trying to piece together like all the continuity they had to go through and like watching it and trying to be like, okay, well, like, yeah, they hit the pot and then Harry gets hit in the head. And then like trying to like see what's going on. And you hear like Dumbledore in the house, like completely like adding on, like, oh, well, I should sign that too, shouldn't I? And they're like, well, I guess so. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, let's talk about this, and just
Like
continues
holding
to
them
like,
back. Yeah.
oh yeah, just like delay, delay, delay. And then they walk out and they're like, what a beautiful mountainside. Like
Yes.
he just
Yes.
continues to just help him out. And like that whole scene, I really enjoyed watching from a technical standpoint, but also Dumbledore cracks me up. So
Yes, yeah. You're making me think too, even when they were like higher up on the hill when Hermione was punching Malfoy, but then like when I was watching the earlier scene of Hermione punching Malfoy, I'm like, I know they're back there. And I was like trying to look, because you're thinking like, okay, where's their past self and their future self and the different angles of each shot. And then you like you seeing more or finding out more like the second time around with time travel was just a really fun like element.
okay, a little bit of research. I heard they like actually like built mini sets and like had to orchestrate kind of like where, okay, this is your past self, this is your future self. Are you going to, intertwine at any point? And like they had to lay it all out just to make sure logistically it made sense. And that was another reason this movie is so good.
Yes, that's it. I didn't know that, but that makes total sense to me because you would have to like you have to figure out, and then you have to figure out like where, because it's a movie, you have to figure out like where are the cameras and like how are we going to
Yeah,
shoot this where there's like these people but we can't see these people because they're hidden behind this, and but they can't see each other. Like that's so cool.
he's a master.
Master, it was very well done. Okay, should we talk about our favorite character?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sure that you have a better one and a better explanation than me because I feel like I just do like dumb stuff. So go ahead with yours first. I'd like to see what you said.
I have a serious one and then like a runner up.
Okay.
So serious one, I love Professor Trelawney. I
Okay.
think she's amazing. I did not know that was Emma Thompson until like a couple years ago, where I'm like, what? And like seeing it now, I'm like, she is just an
Yeah.
amazing actress. But watching her like interact with the kids, her face doesn't stop moving. Like she'll be listening to someone and like she's constantly like her eyebrows are twitching, her like mouth is like mutter. Like she doesn't stop. She's constantly moving, and it's so entertaining. I did hear that it was almost not Emma Stone. It was almost Tilda Swinton took that place, but
Oh,
Tilda, like for personal
really?
reasons, was like she apparently went to boarding school and was like, I don't want to romanticize this. Like I'm out.
Huh.
And so, yeah, Emma Thompson did it because she had a 4-year-old, and she was like, I think my daughter will think this is cool one day, so that's why she did it.
Oh my gosh, yes. She is a great character. Also, this time watching it, I feel like I like they put so many little jokes in with the things that she says and does. Like I think it's the very first scene with her. She's walking and she's talking about having sight and like having your eyes open or something. And then she like runs
Like,
into a table. And it's just like so good. Like little subtle like kind of things that they like throw in with her performance and the things she's saying and then like what's actually happening. And she's such a, and yeah, and Emma Thompson like killed it with this.
oh my gosh, amazing. And like the
Yeah.
hair and makeup and the glasses and yeah, great job.
Yeah, it was it's she's a very like memorable character, and it's a memorable look with the big like frizzy hair and the glasses that like triple her eye size. And in like Emma Thompson, I feel like obviously I've seen her in like a million movies. And you know how sometimes you see an actor and you've seen them a million times and you're watching the movie and you're like watching it and you're like, this is Emma Thompson, or like this is
Yeah,
X, Y, and Z. But I feel like when you're watching it, you're not thinking this is Emma Thompson. You're just thinking like this is Trelawney. Like so,
agreed.
I feel like that's credit to her performance, right?
100%. All right, who do you have?
My favorite character. This is a really dumb one, but he doesn't even have a name. He's credited as Boy One, but apparently his name in like the closed captions is Bem. It's the
This was
kid.
my second one.
Yes, the kid that
That's so
he
funny.
comes out of nowhere. He wasn't in the previous films, and he drops the most ominous lines. He credits the actor. The actor. I don't know if I'm going to say it right. Ekau Corti. He's still an actor today. Like he does such a good job with these line delivery being so like scary and ominous, but also like important for the plot.
Agreed. I would say the first time he talks, it's like the description of the Grim, but then like this, which he reads from a book, so but still creepy. But then the
Yeah.
second one, like he just kind of like says something creepy. Do you remember
Yeah,
what he
yes,
says?
I wrote the second one down. It's like catching. He's talking about Sirius Black, by the way. It's like trying to catch smoke. It's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands.
Amazing. Like
But he says that 20 times better than I just did. Like he makes it sound so like ominous and
and creepy. And it's like, who is this
creepy.
guy?
Yes, they apparently fans call him like Bad News Bem because he always comes in with these like scary lines about like Sirius or the Grim or whatever.
That's amazing.
He's not a character from the books. I literally tried to find like if there was even someone named Bem or like something not in the books at
No.
all. And these lines aren't even in the books, I don't think.
No?
No, I
Oh
mean, there's
gosh.
like stuff about the Grim being an omen of death, but it's not like this random guy comes in to deliver that.
That's amazing. That makes me really happy. All right. Well, great choice. Favorite quotes? You ready for it?
Yeah, you should do yours first. Mine's dumb.
So I have a serious one and then like what my actual favorite line is.
Okay.
The serious one, I solemnly swear that I am up to no good, I think sums up the movie. I mean, that is
Iconic.
the
And it's
quote.
so memorable.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But really my favorite one is, so he's gonna suffer, but he's gonna be happy about it.
Yes. Yes. I do think like on a serious note, I think they have a lot of good lines. There's like one that Dumbledore does that I didn't write down, but he was like talking about like in dreams we can kind of like be outside of reality or whatever. Like there's some seriously
Yeah.
like actually good lines. But the one I wrote down that is like so my like one that sticks in my head from this movie that we talked about in another episode was Harry going like, he was their friend, and he's like yelling like, he was their friend and he betrayed them, he was their friend. It's like I always like
It's
I know
such a
it's a serious
serious
moment.
line, but yeah.
It's just the way it's delivered. I don't know, it's just always funny to me.
I'm glad you can laugh. I mean, yep, that is so quotable. You can use that every day.
He was their friend. Yeah, like you know, like people meme everything now, but if it's like you know, you can make it into any context. He was their friend could be used in a lot of contexts. So
That is
it's very
true.
memeable.
That is true. I like it.
What was your favorite actor or performance?
So my favorite, I really, really like Gary Oldman. I think he's incredible, and his performance in this. I mean, his ability to completely transform, not just from like characters in different movies, but like this character through multiple Harry Potter movies transforms significantly. Him in this one movie, like he can go completely like rage, bloodthirsty, like deranged. And then like the next scene, he's like, hey, you want to come live with me? And like it's completely believable. Like I
Yeah.
think this is the same person. So I honestly want to like take a minute to celebrate Gary Oldman, like his performances and like Oppenheimer is Truman, like such a small role, but like, oh my God, I didn't even know that was him. So good. And then Slow Horses, Jim Gordon and Batman, The Fifth Element, like The Laundromat, like all of these roles, you look at him and you're like, those are all different people. Like, I don't know how he can do all of these different things, but I very much like him. I liked this role. I thought he did a great job.
Yes, yes. You make a good point that, like, in the beginning of this film, we think he's a deranged mass murderer that's after the hero of the movie. And you're like, this guy's so creepy. He's so scary. And then in the moment where he's inviting Harry to come live with him, it's not creepy at all. And we're all like, yes, go live with
Yes,
him. Like, this is
family.
wonderful. Like, it's such a special moment with your godfather. Like, the fact that we could make that turn. And he really doesn't have that much actual like screen time. A lot of his screen
Hmm.
time is just that same mugshot being like replayed. You know what
That's
I mean? Like,
true.
he
Yeah,
doesn't get a lot of time for us to make that transition like with him, you know?
that's true.
So
Yeah.
another one that I know isn't like doesn't have a ton of screen time too is Timothy Spall as Peter Pettigrew. I wanted to give him
Yeah.
a shout out because like you're told, okay, you're a man, but you have to act like you've been a rat for 12
12
years
years.
and make it believable and also make yourself so like unlikable and kind of like schemy and like
Grimy. Yeah.
yeah. And I think he should get a little bit credit for like the way he plays Peter Pettigrew, and he is like Peter Pettigrew in my mind. Like I definitely picture him, even if I'm reading the books or what. Like I don't know. Do you feel like he did a good job with it?
I thought it was incredible. Like all of his mannerisms, like his nose would like kind of sniffle like rats do, or like his hands and I don't know, his ears would twitch. Like I just how he literally scurried across the floor walking. Like he was a very good rat.
Yes.
Agreed.
I feel
Yeah.
like how like Voldemort, you're a grown man and you're told like Voldemort, it's like you're told be like a snake and figure that out. It's like same thing with Peter Pettigrew. It's like, okay, you're like kind of a rat, so you know, and you have to
Make
like
it work.
yeah, you have to really like go for it. I feel like if you're an actor, like he had to like go like crawl on the floor and stuff.
Scurry underneath furniture. Yeah.
Yes.
Gosh. Yeah, I know I don't know a whole lot of things he's been in. I know he's a character actor, so like he transforms a lot. But yeah, this role, I can't imagine a single other person doing that.
Okay. The big question that a lot of people say or ask, especially rewatchers, is this a Christmas movie? Is this a Halloween movie? I've even heard people say that the Harry Potter movies are like a summer rewatch, like they're like a summertime movie. This did come out in the summer. We said it came out in June. So how do you feel? Do you feel like one way or another, or it's none?
So, for all Harry Potter movies, in my opinion, to me, it's a back to school movie because,
Okay, yeah.
and like all of the Harry Potter movies, they always start right when he goes to school and always ends right when he's done with school. Like it is old, it's not, to me, it's the opposite of a summer movie. It is very much like a school has begun, and that's usually when I start it. This movie specifically, though, there is no argument if this busts what you're about to say, I apologize, but there's no argument that it is a Christmas movie because there's zero Christmas in the entire movie.
Okay, I'm
But
with you. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, there's nothing Christmassy about this one specifically. But what are your thoughts?
No, I agree. I think this one is totally a Halloween. I recently rewatched one and two, and I also think one and two are. I think they all are Halloween, and I think even rewatching one and two, I know people say that one's a Christmas movie, but the Christmas part is like a couple minutes. Like it
Yeah,
really feels Halloween. And I was trying to look back because I think some of the movies, yeah, it looks like one, two, three, four of the eight movies came out in November. So that does feel like more like first semester of school coming back to like we would see the trailers like coming out like soon after starting school when these came out. And
yeah,
yeah, back to school. Maybe that they're all back to school movies more than anything.
that's
It's
how I
about
see
him going
it.
to school. Yeah.
It literally, yeah, or maybe just fall. I don't know. Like I always watch it sometime in the fall, but
Yeah, I'm with you. And
Halloween.
if people are going to argue with us, I wrote down specifics of why I think it's Halloween, other than the
Let's hear
overall
it.
vibe. But
Yeah,
Sirius Black is a murderer coming to kill Harry, like a
yes, he
murderer coming
is.
to kill the main character. That's like a Halloween for sure. The Dementors, just like
Super creepy.
they're
Basically, ghosts that can kill
ghosts,
you.
monsters. Yeah. In the beginning of this movie, they sing like Toil and Trouble,
Yes, so good.
Halloween music, right? Like
Right
if that's
there.
another reason. And then to your point about there's no Christmas. I forgot about this. This movie like literally has no Christmas, no presents, no Christmas feast. There is around 9 minutes of what I would call winter, where there's like snow, and like
Yeah,
there's a little bit of winter vibes, but there's really not like any Christmas in this one.
yeah. That is interesting. I need to go back and rewatch the rest of them, but like, I don't know if there's Christmas in the rest.
If we were directing this film, what do we think we would do differently?
The only thing I can think of is changing that like a climax of the movie with all of like I know it's all the reveals and that's one of the reasons I said I love it, but at the same time I'm like I can't get past how ridiculous it is rewatching it. Like just say it.
Just say that you're innocent, like explain the story from like the moment you walk into the room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally be like I'm a good guy. I can promise I'll explain.
Yeah.
Gosh, what about you?
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna get like a lot of hate for this, I think, but I'm just gonna say it, and I'm just gonna let the chips fall where they may. Michael Gambon as the new Dumbledore. Obviously, the Dumbledore changed from Richard Harris from the first two movies. He is not my favorite. I feel like his portrayal of Dumbledore is a little bit more like erratic and kind of like a little bit more crazy. And whereas the other one was very like calm and felt like very stable and secure. And so I feel like I would have casted him differently.
I agree. And I don't think you're going to get flack. I feel like a lot of people feel that way. I've heard that
Okay.
before. But I did hear they were going to hire Ian McKellen and offered him the role, and he turned it down, which I would have loved that. But I agree. I feel like one thing that Matt my husband, and I quote all the time is a line from the book from The Goblet of Fire where he runs in and says, Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? So he doesn't quote that. He quotes, Dumbledore said calmly. Like, that is said in our house at least twice a week. Like, whenever he says something like in a big huff and he's like, okay, that was a little extreme. Dumbledore said quietly or calmly. And it cracks me up. But yeah, that's just one example of he's a little erratic. He needs to dial it back just a bit.
Yeah, I believe that Michael Gambon didn't read the books like when he
Oh,
portrayed the role. If I'm I believe that's the case. Someone can tell me if I'm wrong,
it's awkward.
but it really doesn't feel like he's playing Dumbledore from the books. Like the books Dumbledore is just very, very calm, very like even in super stressful situations, he's like keeping it together and he always like figures stuff out. And so I just think the personality is different. But I can see Ian McKellen like Gandalf is from Lord of the Rings is compared to Dumbledore a lot. So maybe like it would have felt too like similar.
Yeah,
Not
I
that
can
I would
agree
have
with
loved
that.
him, but I can see like him maybe feeling that way, like
Yeah.
you're playing like the
Wizarding
same.
too much. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see that.
like stop casting me as like the old all powerful wizard, right? I did look into, so when they apparently other actors that they considered were Christopher Lee was another one. So that's Count Dooku from Star Wars or Saruman from Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
for people that like can't think of people based on their name. Christopher Lee, I feel like would have been another like interesting one. Peter O'Toole was another one considered. He's from like Lawrence of Arabia, or he's Priam and Troy. I know Peter O'Toole. This is gonna be like a deep cut reference, but I know Peter O'Toole from Stardust. He's like the king that dies in Stardust. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
Stardust?
Yeah, that one's really cute. Okay, no, that helped.
I'm obsessed with Stardust. More people need to watch that movie. It's so good. There's a million
Is
actors in it.
is that Claire Danes?
Yes, Claire
Okay, I
Danes,
have seen it.
the guy that's like Daredevil, is like the main character.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
Robert De Niro is in it. There's a bunch of people. I think Ian McKellen does like the voice or like the voice for the like
Yeah.
narrator or something. But anyway, Peter O'Toole was another one considered, and apparently also Richard Attenborough, which is John Hammond in Jurassic Park, or Kris Kringle in Miracle on
Yeah.
34th Street. So a lot of, your classic famous old men actors were
British,
considered.
yeah.
Yeah, British
All of
were
them.
considered.
Gosh,
And
that's
for
awesome.
people that like aren't aware, Richard Harris passed away in 2002 from Hodgkin's disease, and that's why he was recast as Michael Gambon for this third movie. And then he continues to be Dumbledore through the rest of the films. Oh, I was going to do a little section of just talking about the movie compared to the books. This has kind of come up for a couple of things. And there are a lot of things. So I could go on forever about like every little nitpicky detail, but I tried to like narrow it down to just like a couple key differences from the movie and the books, or like things that I thought were interesting. So, one, in the beginning of the book, Aunt Marge comes for like dinner at the Dursleys, and she says these terrible things about Harry, and then Harry blows her up. But in the books, she stays for an entire week and is constantly bullying him. And I feel like that like
Oh my
explains a little
God.
bit more why he like,
Blew
blew
her
his
up.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second difference that I wanted to call out, the Monster Book of Monsters. I feel like that's like an iconic look. Like it's very memorable from the movies. But in the book, it does not look like that. It's supposed to be like a green cover. And I always I don't think it actually looks like a monster. Like it just looks like a regular book, and then it starts like biting things. So I'm sorry to let people down, but just thought I'd let you guys know. It's described as a handsome green cover emblazoned with the gold title, The Monster Book of Monsters, instead of being like a big hairy
Little
literal
disappointed.
monster book.
Yeah. I prefer the
Yeah.
monster book.
Yeah, I think the monster book was like a better visual. This is okay, big plot point difference. In the books, this might like blow some people's minds. In the books, a big part of the plot is that Crookshanks, Hermione's cat, is helping Sirius the whole time.
What? That's awesome.
Yes. So he's like, Crookshanks is like, that's why Crookshanks keeps attacking Scabbers, because like Crookshanks knows that it's Pettigrew, and he's like working with Sirius, and he like steals the Gryffindor passwords for him and tries to bring Pettigrew to Sirius. And then that's why like they thought Scabbers was dead for a little bit, because he was in hiding. He like faked his own death because like making it look like Crookshanks attacked him. Anyway, there's like a whole subplot of like Crookshanks helping Sirius this whole time in the books.
That's really cool. Okay, I did read that Crookshanks isn't just a normal cat. Like she's exceptionally smart.
Yeah.
Like the breed she is. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then I thought this was just like an interesting fun fact. So in the beginning, when the Dementor comes onto the train and then Harry, passes out and like has that whole thing, in the book, Neville and Ginny are also in the compartment with the trio. And Ginny has like a strong reaction to the Dementors, because in the previous book, she was like possessed by Voldemort and obviously had that whole like traumatic experience with the Chamber of Secrets. So like she has horrors in her past that are like make the Dementors really traumatizing for her also. So I thought that was like an interesting detail.
Yeah, I feel like Neville gets gypped out of a lot of situations where he's in the book, but then not in the movie.
Yeah.
Sad day.
Yeah, he's definitely in a lot more scenes. Like another one that I can remember is in the first movie when they go and they find Fluffy, the three-headed dog. Neville was also with them in the book. So there's just like a lot of like he's a little
He
bit
gets
more of a
cut out.
character. Yeah.
Interesting.
Two more things I'll point out as key differences. I know like book readers are going to be like, there's a million more things, but I just don't want to like talk forever about every little detail. The Quidditch match was a little bit different in the book. So you know how Harry's flying on his broom and then he sees like the Grim as a cloud? In the books, he sees the Grim in the stands when he's flying, and it was Sirius. Like Sirius made a point to come out to watch him play Quidditch because he wanted to see him play, which I feel like is like a sweet like
It's adorable.
moment.
Yeah.
And then
A mistake apparently because it freaked him out, but still sweet.
Like, and then the guy that gets struck by lightning in the movie, that's actually Cedric Diggory, that character that ends up being played by Robert Pattinson in the next film, like gets cast as that when he becomes more of a main role. But Cedric doesn't get struck by lightning in the book. He actually was like competing with Harry trying to grab the snitch, and then Harry falls off his broom and Cedric catches it and wins the game. But then Cedric tries to call it back and say like, "Oh, I didn't realize like Harry like had passed out. Like, let's have a rematch." But they say, "Oh no, you
Oh,
won fair
cool.
and square." So it's like a cute little moment.
Oh, that's cool. I did not know
Yeah,
that at all. Okay, well, good job.
yeah. So
Sorry,
Cedric's
sorry
just
you
a
died.
stand-up
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Gosh.
And then the last thing I'll mention is that in the books, the scene even that you're talking about with the like all the reveals in the Shrieking Shack, it's a lot longer and there's a lot more like backstory about the Marauders being Lupin, James, Sirius, and Pettigrew. There's a lot more explanation about like how them becoming animagi helped Lupin with his werewolf transitions and how they came to make the map, and then even more backstory about like Sirius and how he escaped Azkaban and the things he's been doing like since he's got out and all that. So obviously it makes sense like they had to like cut it down for the movie, and you don't want to like sit and watch this like 30-minute scene of people just sitting and talking. But just for the record, there's a lot more. Like if you're watching the movies and you're like, oh, but how did Sirius actually get out? Or like, what happened here? It's probably explained in the book because there's like so much more explanation of like how everything happened. So
Okay. Yeah, I do have a couple questions on that, but we'll wait.
okay.
Okay, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah. But that concludes my a couple call outs with the book differences. So why don't we go to your next section? What else did you have?
I just had a couple call outs of like things I found interesting or questions. First one being in the intro scene with the ant. As soon as I realized it changed everything. The ant was the Trunchbull. Did you ever see Matilda?
Yeah, like years ago.
Yeah, the ant is played by the same woman who is the Trunchbull, and I'm like, oh my god, this woman is the ultimate villain. Like she's incredible. But yeah, once you see it, you can't unsee it, like the voice and everything.
Oh my gosh, you're telling me that now, and I've never made that connection, even though I've watched this film a million times. Also, like this is like the queen of like rage baiting, I guess. Like she is like so good at like making you like angry at that character.
She's so easy to hate. She's
Yes.
incredible.
Credit to her acting. Great work.
Great work. But yeah, I have a couple more things, but did you have anything?
My things are super random. I'll say we can go back and forth.
Perfect.
One thing I want to mention: Hermione's hair. I know this is like I'm with all the. I was noticing a lot of small details when I was watching this. I don't know why. Her hair gets. I feel like it gets progressively less like floofy, frizzy as the movies go on. Like even from
Yeah.
1 to 2, and then in this one, I feel like I was noticing that it looked more like nicely curled, or like if someone with straight hair like braided their hair and then took it out of the braids and it's just kind of like nicely wavy.
Yeah.
I do feel like it, and then like I was looking back at pictures because I was like, how does it look like in the end? In the end, I feel like it looks practically straight. So her hair goes through a big like transformation in the films.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like a lot of the characters kind of get a glow up, like Neville especially, like I don't know, all of them kind of have their little improvements. But yeah, definitely her hair. It's been on a journey.
Yeah. Yes, even like in Lupin's class, her hair is like in this little spiral bun thing with her pencil in it. Like
Yeah, I saw
they
that.
were really going to like style her hair a lot more in this one, I feel, than like the previous two where it was just kind of like down and frizzy.
Yeah, basically Hagrid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a question. Matt brought this up, and I have a theory, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
In the very beginning, how did Sirius find Harry? Like, how did he know where to go?
Oh, like to go to the Dursleys?
Yeah.
Are you saying like how did he know where the Dursleys live, or how did he know that Harry lived with the Dursleys, or just like any of it?
All of it. Like, I have an idea, but I wasn't sure if they like explain it in the books or if you had an idea.
Okay, I'm trying to remember if obviously he's out for like a long time, even before he like goes to the Dursleys. I don't remember. First of all, I know that he knows that Harry was going to be sent to the Dursleys because when Lily and James die, Hagrid and Sirius both go to the house, and Sirius is trying to take Harry, and Hagrid's like, no, 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 I'm supposed to bring him to Dumbledore to like go to the Dursleys. Like that was like Hagrid's stop before he went to the Dursleys. So Sirius definitely knew that he was like he wasn't going to go kill Pettigrew before he knew that Harry was like safely with someone. So I think he knew that even before he escaped. And then as far as like where exactly they live, I don't know if they explain exactly how he knows, but I feel like he could figure it out from
The yellow
like he might have
pages or like
yeah, yeah, or I was thinking like he was friends with Lily and James for a long time, like he might have had an address for them or something, you
or
know.
he's a dog, maybe he just sniffed him out.
Yeah, that too.
Okay,
What
cool.
was
That
your
clears that up.
theory?
That was pretty much it. Like I thought maybe he knew that Harry would like go to a family member and like and knowing his parents for a while, like maybe he knew that was the only family left. And then literally looked him up in the British equivalent of the yellow pages. Cause I'm like, I don't know how else you
Yeah.
find him. But yeah, that was it.
Another thing that I noticed in this movie, I was like looking, I was all in the background apparently for this movie, but okay, so it's at 47 minutes and 49 seconds. I was like, what is Harry holding in his hand? It's the scene when they're about to see that the fat lady's like portrait has been scratched and they're standing on the staircase and he's holding this like it looks like a glass ball with like something in it. I'll show
Yeah.
yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
this was like driving me crazy. I literally had to look it up because I couldn't just by looking at it, I couldn't figure out like
Was it
what
a
this
remembrall or
that's what I thought at first too because it really does look like a remember all. From my Google searching, apparently it's a sneakoscope, but I could not
okay
find anywhere in this movie that was like
used?
explained like I don't
Yeah.
know if there was like a deleted scene where they explain what because it felt so random to show him holding this the main character holding something with no like background or
Yeah.
like no context.
Like why? Yeah.
Yeah, and for the people that have it like don't remember, don't know what a sneakoscope is, it's it's like a dark detector device. So it's described as a miniature glass spinning top in the books, and basically if someone's untrustworthy is around, it lights up and spins. So Ron gives this to Harry after he visits Egypt in the beginning of this book, so he sends it to him as a birthday gift. And Harry ends up not being able to use it because when they're on the Hogwarts Express, it keeps going off. And you're thinking it's like, oh, it's just like malfunctioning or whatever. But the whole thing is that like it's going off because Pettigrew is around them all the time. Like Scabbers is around them and he's like obviously untrustworthy.
Oh, cool.
But
That's
yeah.
pretty
So
cool.
in case you were like me and you were watching that and you were like, what the heck is he holding? That's what it is.
All right. Well, in looking at the background of things, his room at the Dursleys' house is kind of adorable. Have you noticed all of the art on the walls?
No, tell me
Like
about it.
he
I
has
didn't
like
with all the background catches, I didn't notice this. So tell me.
so some of them are like it looks like paintings of Hedwig,
Oh,
adorable. And then
yeah.
he has like candy wrappers. He's like collecting chocolate frogs. He has like a couple things that like are I mean, I think like a comic book or something. And then the one that really caught my eye was like a paper mache like collage of him playing Quidditch. Like,
Oh my god.
it's literally like it looks like paper scraps or something, and it's like him playing Quidditch with like I did just a little digging, and apparently it's the Weasley twins as well since they play, and like it's
Okay.
just him with like the little hoops in the background, and I'm like, what? Why? Like, what class did you do this in, or was this literally just you bored at the Dursley's like nothing better to do? Paper
Where
mache
did he get these
collage.
pictures? Are they like
Yeah.
moving pictures? Or there's
No, it
Oh, okay.
literally looks like an art craft where he like cut
Okay.
up paper and made Quidditch. I'm
Yeah.
like, I guess he's really bored, so you're gonna pass the time somehow. So, but that was
That's
it.
so funny. I used to do that all the time when I was a kid, like get magazines and like make
Yeah.
collages. Why was that a thing? I don't know. Like
I guess free
that's
art supplies, or I guess
free art
relatively
supplies.
free. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I need to look back. That's crazy. That's so funny to me to think of like him like putting this together, or did someone put this together for him? Like, what's the backstory here? I need it.
If that was a gift, that actually makes me feel a little better about it rather than him just doing it
Like
himself.
of his own pictures. But he
Like, I
has a
ran
lot
out
of
of
time.
glue. Yeah,
He
I
has a lot of
guess.
time with the Dursleys.
I'm
Like,
sure
what else is
does.
he gonna do?
I'm sure he's proud of himself too. Like,
Yeah, he's like,
that was a great collage,
good
Harry.
work.
Uh,
Yeah.
all right, what do you have?
Okay, so something I feel like I just noticed it watching it this time around was okay, so it's around 49 minutes 50 seconds. It's the part where they realize that Sirius Black is in the castle, and so they're like, we're gonna shut down the castle and search. And there's some shots of like the doors closing and it's all ominous, and the kind of like a castle, like the I don't know what to call it, like the gate is like coming down, right?
Yeah.
Like to close up Hogwarts. In the background of all this, like there's the, creepy noise and you're hearing like the clamping of things shutting down. There's the sound of howling, like a werewolf
Yeah.
howl. I thought that was such a good like little touch.
That is really cool. No, I clocked that, but I don't know. To me, I guess when you first watch it, you're like, oh yeah, that's normal night ambiance, noise in the background. Like that makes sense. But yeah, like knowing the movie, you're like, ooh,
Yeah,
they
you're
thought
like,
that
oh, that's
through.
gonna come back later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good foreshadowing. I really wanted to at least mention the night bus.
Okay. Oh
Like that
yeah.
whole, so we haven't really talked about that at all, but like I just had to point it out that like that's the first part of the movie where I'm like, oh, this is a different kind of Harry Potter movie. Like it's so stylized. It is not polished. Like you look at the guy running the bus and it's like yeah, Matt made the comment that like in the wizarding world, like don't they have potions or something to like clean up your skin? Like why does this man look like this? He looks and
Yeah.
I like the first two we said like everything is so polished and perfect, and like this movie you're like, oh, this is kind of grungy. This is grimy. Like this bus is not gonna make it. Like it's so shaky and like it's just real. And I just thought the whole scene was really cool and like such a really cool set piece. So had to call it out.
Yeah, it's very memorable for this movie. And yeah, like this is like the grungy underbelly of like the wizarding world, and we're like in the city, and yeah, we're seeing a different side.
Gosh, and like it's called the night bus, like with a Knight. Like it's there to save you when you need help. And it's like they show up and you're like, oh, you're the knight? Like, ooh,
Yeah.
I guess I need help. So I guess we'll get on the bus. But
Yes. Even the like from the moment that he walks on and you see the beds that are at an angle and don't seem to be strapped down to anything, and they're just like
just
sliding
wobbling. Yeah.
around. Yeah, it's like this is a health code violation, or like some sort of like this is not
Safety. Yeah.
safe. Yeah.
I wanted to bring back Renee's Animal Corner.
Oh
Because when
yeah.
you did
From
the
movie one, yeah.
from movie one, you did such a wonderful breakdown of all the different animals, and it was so fun. Like I got a big kick out of it. So I am not delving into like what you already talked about. So no owls. I don't know, no cats or anything like that. But in the first scene, Ripper the bulldog was played by four different dogs. I could not find names for them, but fun fact, the dogs did their own stunts, which I was very impressed by. But like they did the little dangling off of the, Vernon's ankle, and they said like they only went up the air by 10 inches. And I'm like, for a bulldog, that's like his full height. But like apparently they did it humanely, so good on them.
Yeah.
And a little bit of fun fact for how they got him to like eat and drink things. The plate was just covered in gravy, so that makes sense. But the bowl, the like brandy glass, it was colored water, and they put sardine oil in it to like make him want it, but like a plastic glass the entire time. And I'm like, oh, and then she was like holding the glass the whole time after, and I'm like, that's literally dog slobber and sardine oil, and like you're
Yes,
such a
ew.
great actress.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to call Ripper out for just being a great stuntman.
Yeah. Four different dogs. That's crazy.
I know they all were fantastic. But the ghost horses where they like crash through the windows, played
Yes.
by Doris Stars and Stripes. So they're pretty cool. But they had a lot of deals. You mentioned in the first movie that they like warmed the floor so the cats like bums didn't get cold. I'm like, that's adorable. But with this, they put padding all along the floor so their hooves wouldn't make noise when they were walking around. And so like it didn't hurt their hooves. So I'm like, they're taking care of their animals.
Yeah. Yes, I
Um,
actually love side tangent on the horses and the like headless horseman kind of like coming in. It's a little like background kind of part in this, but I do love that they added that. And for the record, that is canon for the books that there's these headless horsemen riders, like ghost riders, and they have this whole club. It's like actually there's a whole like scene that they're a big part of in the second book. And so I like how they bring this little like subtle like thing into the movies.
That was a fun touch. And then the last thing I have is the living portraits in the background. Every single animal you see in that is real and they actually filmed, aside from one. But like when you
Okay.
see the giraffe walking, like they actually like brought a giraffe into a studio and filmed it just walking around.
Oh my
The
gosh.
Yeah, like the birds, everything like that's
Isn't she like
all.
hiding behind a like a hog or something?
It's a
Okay.
hippo, yeah, and
Oh,
that's the
okay.
only fake animal is they had a fake hippo, but the bird on top of the hippo was real. So
Oh
I thought that was pretty
wow.
cool.
That yeah, there were a lot of animals in this, like including owls and like other like random animals throughout. And obviously like scabbers being a big part of this plot and Crookshanks.
Um, I had a few questions for you. Getting back to the time turner,
Hmm.
like that would be extremely useful in other circumstances. And like you kind of talked about it earlier, like you're not supposed to do it for anything aside from classes. But I'm like, at the same time, like when Cedric Diggory dies, like why not do something about that? Or like getting around like Umbridge and Order of the Phoenix, or like I don't take your pick. Like there's so many good options where like that would have been extremely helpful. Like, did she have to give it back at the end of this movie?
Yeah, so like yeah, there's many things. So one, she gave it back at the end of this movie. A plot point in the book was that she like she was getting super stressed because she was living like more than a day every day, like doing all these classes, and she was like starting to sleep through classes. And like that's part of the reason why she like hit Malfoy and walked out on Trelawney's class, because she was just like getting really
Exhausted.
overwhelmed. So she decided like I'm going to cut down my class load. I'm going to stop doing the time turner. But it is a good point that like I think even J.K. Rowling admitted that this opened up like too many like opportunities that she didn't really mean to, get into.
Yeah.
They do in the books, in the fifth book, they have when they go to the ministry, they have it where the kids destroy all the time turners in existence. So like supposedly that kind of like cancels out them being able to use it like in the later books. And it's interesting that you bring up Cedric specifically and his death, because there is a sequel to the Harry Potter books called The Cursed Child. Many people are aware of this book. It's like kind of written by J.K. Rowling, but kind of by another. And it's like, it's written as a play. There's a bunch of weird stuff about it. A lot of Harry Potter fans don't really like this book and don't feel like it's canon. I'm one of those people. But that in that book, the whole plot is that another time turner is discovered, and Harry's kid and Draco's kid are trying to use it to go back and save Cedric, because that's supposed to be like the canon event that like hits off a bunch of other events, and they mess with time a lot, and it like messes up a bunch of other things, and they end up just like correcting it all. And like it would have like messed up, like they make alternate timelines where like Hermione and Ron don't end up together, or like Snape doesn't die and stuff like that. But yes, to answer your question though, it does bring up a lot of plot holes, and it like I don't really like this when like stories mess with time, because I feel like it brings up too much like opportunity for like, yeah, why would you not use this for so many
For
other things?
everything. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Thank you for just telling me, like, yes, this is a question that not just I have, because that
No, yeah.
bothered me.
It is
Okay.
like very bothersome. I try to like we're not going to think about the time turner other than this one time that it's used, because
No, it doesn't
also
exist. Yeah.
yeah, because also like something that messes with my mind is like like in my mind, Buckbeak never died, right? Like because they go back to quote unquote save Buckbeak, but in my mind, like Buckbeak was always gone, and then he just like slices a pumpkin. I think that's what they have in the book where he just like slices a pumpkin out of
Yeah.
anger. So you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't actually like save Buckbeak.
He
They
didn't
just like
actually die. Yeah.
yeah. So it's not
Can
like
you reverse death, I guess? Or can you prevent death?
yeah, or like is because like all the things they do don't really actually like change the events of like past things happening because they had already
Because then it
happened.
would have already happened. How? Yeah, that is a good point.
So like they didn't really change time. I don't know, but this is gonna like give people a headache if like I go down too much of this
Yeah,
path.
it's too
But
much.
yeah,
We can just bypass that. That's fine.
but
Okay.
no, totally fair question, and I kind of agree with you. Like it opens up way too many plot holes.
Okay. Speaking of a plot hole, I have another one if you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Potentially. So Harry couldn't go on the field trip because he didn't get approval from a guardian, but he
Yes.
could go to Hogwarts without guardian approval.
Okay. Yes. That and Hogwarts is supposedly like one of the safest places, and yet it's like not safe at all. But yeah, this is a good point. I wonder if like we just didn't get this, but like did the Dursleys have to like sign anything to like approve that he was
Yeah.
going?
Or did his parents like pre-approve?
Pre-approve? Yeah, maybe. We talked about this I think in another episode where like Dumbledore has like way too much control over Harry's like schedule as a child, like for this random other adults kind of just like make up where Harry's gonna go and make all these decisions for him, and it feels very like
Who are
there
you?
should be like more like documentation here,
Yeah,
like where is Child Protective Services in this situation? I don't know.
actually. Okay.
But a thing that it's interesting that you bring that up because this I see this like memed all the time where people bring up that like why does Harry need permission to go from a parent to go to Hogsmeade, but he doesn't need permission from a parent to enter the Triwizard Tournament? I know he like didn't enter,
Yeah.
but there is a good explanation for that, which is one, he didn't enter, but two, the year that like the Triwizard Tournament is happening, they make it for only 17 and up students, which are like legal adults in the wizarding world. So like you wouldn't like legal adults don't need parent permission to enter like a competition. So like I
Yeah.
think there is an explanation for that. But you're right, the going to school thing, they like yeah, when do the Dursleys actually like approve that he goes there? They do drive him to the train station in the books, so like they
That's
let it
nice.
happen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, you get to be rid of this problem.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing I wanted to point out too, because I think we kind of talked about a lot of these people, but there are a lot of big actors that got introduced to the franchise that continue to have roles, but specifically got introduced in this movie. So, like calling them out, Gary Oldman as Sirius Black, Timothy Spall as Peter Pettigrew, like both of them, reprised their roles multiple times. David Thewlis as Remus Lupin is another big one. Emma Thompson as Sybil Trelawney gets introduced here. And then we pointed out there's some changes. So like Dumbledore changes actors, and then Flitwick doesn't change actors. It's still Warwick Davis, but his look is like totally different. And then the fat lady also did change. The first two
Yeah.
movies, it was Elizabeth Spriggs, and then it becomes Dawn French. I was trying to find out like why she was recast or if there was like if something happened or something. And I couldn't the best answer I could find was that because it was a bigger role, they switched her to a different actress to like, since she had more
Like
lines
comic
and every
relief. Yeah.
yeah,
It was like a funnier.
yeah, Dawn French's like background is in comedy, so I definitely think they were like going for more of a comedic versus Elizabeth Spriggs. I feel like played it more like this regal, like put together lady. So just different like ways they wanted to kind of like portray the roles.
I also heard Tom at the Ministry of Magic, the man with all the black and the weird laughing and the hunchback.
Yeah.
That in the first movie he just looks like a normal man, and like they completely did a glow down and made him a little different, which I'm like, I guess that is some kind of comic relief. Like, does he look like that in the books?
Okay. Yeah, you make a good point. I didn't even realize that was supposed to be the same guy. I'm picturing who the guy from the earlier ones is, and he does look normal, and then it's this guy. I didn't realize that was like a recast. In the books, he's described as looking like a toothless walnut.
Oh, okay.
I only remember that because it's such a weird description of him. Yeah, so whatever that looks like in your mind, I guess the second guy does look more like a toothless walnut to me, maybe because he's like bald. I don't
And
know.
round, yeah, a little rounded on the
Round
edges.
back.
Yeah,
He's very like a Hunchback of Notre Dame kind of look to me.
yeah, I agree. Gosh, okay, okay. I wanted to know, what would your Patronus be?
Okay, so I feel like I have to say that I technically did the harrypotter.com like Patronus quiz. And what I got for the quiz was an Aussie cat, which is a type of domestic cat. So apparently that's what mine would be, if you believe that. If I got to pick one, I would definitely go with like a more intimidating animal. One that like came to mind for me would be like a bull. I feel like a bull would be a
Ooh,
really good one.
that's a cool one. Yeah.
So, what about you?
Um, so I took the quiz, and funny you say that. I am a calico cat,
Oh,
which
okay.
I mean, they're super cute. I am just not a cat person. I've never had a cat, and I don't really want a cat. But you know what? They're cute. They're soft, sure. But if I could choose one, so funny that you were like, I want to be intimidating, because if I got to choose, I would choose a llama. Because they just seem kind of chill and happy to be there, and they have cool blankets on their back, and they're just cozy and just not, they're not really bothered by anything. And I like that for me. And I like the idea that I'm like, ooh, let's defend some bad guys. Mama. Like, makes sense, you know?
It is funny. Like, it does make sense because you're supposed to be like thinking of happy memories and you're trying to get yourself in a happy mood. So if a llama shows up, like, that's going to get you in like a happy mood.
It would make me happy just thinking. I'm like, yeah, I would love to see a light llama.
Yeah. It's so funny because I'm like here, like, okay, the bulls got to like attack these dementors, and the dementors kind of swoop down, and bulls attack with like an upward motion with their horns. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is a strategically good choice. like my Patronus is a fighter, okay?
Literally, yeah. And mine is quite the opposite. So we're either both cats or we are completely opposite animals. I
Yes,
like
it's
it.
interesting that we both got cats. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people, I think I have another friend who got a different kind of cat too. Like she got like a Siamese cat or something, or like, so I don't know. Are they giving everyone cats for these Patronus quiz? I don't
I
know.
I don't, on the website they're like, here are the top 20 most popular ones, and I'm like, I am my cat was not on there, but I should have counted how many of them are cats. I'll have to get
Yeah.
back
Do
to
you
you.
remember some of the popular ones?
I
Like
want to
what
say
kind of
a
animals?
bull was, or no, bulldog was a one up there.
Okay. Okay.
I just found the list of the top 20, and of the top 20, seven of them are cats.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's
All
a
right.
lot.
So tell us, what are the top what Patronuses that people get?
So let's start 10, which I love. Okay, number 10 is a hedgehog. Would never have guessed. Let's see, nine, black and white cat. Eight,
Okay.
eight is a basset hound.
Okay.
Seven, weasel. Six, Saint Bernard. Five, fox. Oh gosh, lots of cats. Let's see, four, Nebelung cat. Three
Okay.
is a Manx cat. Two is a Tonkinese cat. And can you guess number one?
Is it another? If it's another freaking cat, I don't know. I'm gonna say like a terrier.
No, you are so close. Number one is a dolphin.
A dolphin. Oh my gosh, I should have guessed that. Yeah. people need to send in to us like what's the weirdest one someone's got. I wonder like, but yeah, hedgehog. That the fact that that was like
Hedgehog.
a popular one that throws me.
Agreed. What a borzoi is, but that's number 19. What is a borzoi?
I don't know.
It's dog.
Oh, okay, yeah. It seems like there's a lot of cats and dogs, like sub breeds of each,
Yeah, which is
which feels a little
interesting.
bit interesting. Well, speaking of animals, should we do the next question?
Oh yeah. All right. What is your favorite slash the best magical creature?
I could probably have like done research and like looked to my Fantastic Beasts book and like tried to pick out the best, but I just went on my instinct. I felt like I should answer from the heart. So I am partial to dogs. So the one that I did was Fluffy, the giant three-headed dog. I
I
feel
like that.
like that's a good one.
That's a great one. My kids have only seen the first one, and
Okay.
my daughter, who is 3, which I sorry if people are judging me for showing my 3-year-old Harry Potter, but it's a great movie.
You know, it's
But
great. Yeah.
she
Only
refers to
80%
it.
on Rotten Tomatoes, apparently, but it's still a great
Still
movie.
great. It's not too scary. They're fine. He just has a man, having his whole body burnt up by a, child, but it's fine. Um, but she refers to it as the dog movie. She was like, "Can we watch the dog movie?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." Makes me so happy every time she says it. But yeah, because she loves Fluffy.
Well, yeah, and Fang's in it too, like
That's true.
Hagrid's dog. Yeah, there it is a dog movie. That to be fair.
Mine might be a bit of a cheat. I pulled from this movie, but it's honestly this character. I'm going to call it a character because it is in like all of them. But I love the Whomping Willow. I
Oh
think
yeah,
to me, I'm like, it is a living, moving character who has, implications through all of the films. And this one in particular, like, it just is a terror. Like, it just enjoys being at a constant, like, basically fu to everyone. Like, there's a scene in this which I find so distinct to this movie where there's like a bird chirping a beautiful song, and it's just going all around Hogwarts, and it's going through tunnels, and it goes around the corner, and you see the Whomping Willow just like flick it, and it's like a fluff of feathers, and I'm like, that's terrible and amazing, and it makes me so happy. But yeah, it's just like, you're annoying, shut up. It's just so funny. So I would say Whomping Willow is my favorite.
yeah. I didn't even like think of that as a beast, but you're right. It is like sentient, and they really give it a lot of personality. Even in the second movie, it's a big part, like crushing the
Yeah.
car, and it really like goes after them, like. But yeah, I think that's all I had, unless you had anything else or other scenes or things you noticed.
I had one fun fact that made me chuckle.
Okay.
In a scene where Harry had to look like particularly like astonished or like, oh my goodness, Quran pulled Radcliffe aside and coached him by saying, I can't believe this is the last thing I'm going to say. He said, "Pretend you're seeing Cameron Diaz in a G string." And I'm like, I can just imagine
What?
Radcliffe being like, what? Like, okay, that
What?
might need to be cut because I don't know if that's been fact checked, but I'm like, how would you, because how old was he at the time? Like 14? So I guess it's applicable, but
Yeah.
I don't know if like that's child
Is
appropriate to
that
be
like,
telling a
yeah,
14-year
that
old.
seems a little inappropriate, maybe. Yeah.
It's a little appropriate. And I think Daniel Radcliffe's dad is a producer, at least someone with the last name Radcliffe is a producer on the movie, which means they had like a little bit of a hand in what goes on. So I don't know if the dad heard that, would be like, Karan, you're not going to be directing number 4. That's inappropriate.
Yeah. That, like, yeah, breaking news. This is why he wasn't directing film number 4. No, we don't really know.
Speculation, but it's fun.
Yeah, that is a fun little, like, fun fact.
And that is a great way to end this discussion.
Yes.
This was so much fun. Thank you for having me on your podcast. I love movies so much, and talking about them is, a dream come true. And having other people listen, I guess, is another fun perk. So thank you so much.
Yeah. And for the listeners, thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening. And until next week, happy reading, happy listening, and may you have a Harry Potter movie marathon sometime soon.